Welcome to AutoCAD 2D modeling. So today we have one simple model that is kind of a symmetry model as well. So let's begin with the modeling. Uh, just check out that your workbench is on 2D modeling kind, and now define the units as we do always. So on millimeters, right. Now in this model, as I told you that it is a kind of a symmetry model. So it is very much easy for you, or it will be more convenient to apply the reference point at the center point. So take the reference point in the center, and if you notice that from the center point, the opposite ends are exactly equidistant to each other, and the reference point is exactly in the center of the model. So the model is symmetry to both ends. So let's see what we can do in that case. So first, what you need to do is to make our circle that is a discontinuous circle, means a part of the circle is required from here till here like this, and the rest of the part will be trimmed off. So let's take this circle with the diameter of 50. Go for the circle command, take the center diameter, reference point, 0, 0, and the diameter is 50. Yes, this is 50. Enter. Now zoom out according to your requirement. Yeah, that's it. Next is to make another circle of radius 10 for the outer circle, and for the inner circle draw a circle of radius diameter 10. So two circles that are concentric to each other will be drawn on at the distance of 50 on x-axis, but no distance on vertical axis. So what will be the center point for the circle? The center point will be 50, comma 0. So on 50, comma 0, you are going to have two circles concentric to each other, and one is of diameter 10, another one is of radius 10. So it's simple. Go for it. One with diameter, where the reference center point is 0, 50 and 0. So this time the diameter, that is 10. And now the radius on same circle. If we can trace out the center point, we can go for it, or we can type in the center again. So now the radius is 10, like this. Next step is to make or draw this circle. Now, forget this one, right? Okay. Now for this circle that is of radius 8. That is of radius 8. If the radius is 8, means the diameter would be 16. The diameter would be 16. So you have two circles on your screen, if you notice, and both are of diameter 16. right? So, but you do not have the exact distance that at how much distance the circles are apart to each other. So this is one thing you have to find out, that where the center point would be lie, right? So how we can analyze this thing is through this. Just keep this in your mind that the radius is 8. If the radius is 8, means the 8 radius would be everywhere like this. Another clue is that the distance from center point or the reference point of the model till the circumference of our right hand circle, the distance is overall distance is 12. It means if this distance is 12, the remaining would be 12 minus 8, that is 4. That will be 4. So the distance from, let me change the color. The distance from reference point to the center point for the circle would be 12 minus 12 was altogether. Now we are coming from this right hand side towards the left hand side to minus the radius from this side, because we know the circumference is exactly here of the circle, but we don't know whether the circle is, when the circle would be complete, it will exactly touches the it will exactly intersect the reference point or not. We don't know, we are not sure about this, right? It might be possible that the circle will end up somewhere here. It might be possible the circle will end up somewhere here. We are not sure where the left side, or where the left side of the circumference will is going to end up, right? So the thing is that in this case, how you can measure the distance or the center point is you just um, have a look on this total distance, and this distance is from the circumference to the circumference of another circle and the outer surfaces. So just half this total distance. Now you will see, you have this one side fixed for the circumference, and the circle is for sure of radius 8. Radius is the distance from center point to the circumference. So take this radius on x-axis as a distance of 8 and just subtract it from 12. So you will get 4. So the reference point, so the center point of the circle will accordingly become 4 comma 0. So let's see. We can also prove this thing in the end by measuring the dimensions, right? We can show the dimensions in the end. Let's go for this circle right now. So for at 4 comma 0, you have radius of 8. 4 tab 0, you have radius as 8. Now enter. Just zoom in a little bit like this. So you see, here is your circle. Next is, okay, perfect. We are done. Okay, in today's video, I am going to introduce to you with a very interesting command That is mirror command. Actually, I'm going to introduce in this model with uh, two interesting commands. One is a mirror command, another one is you're quite familiar with that command as we have discussed that in our previous videos, but we will modify or we'll use that command in some different way. What is that? If you see that this circle is connecting with this one, so you don't you can use 10 10 radius, but this is a straight line, right? But even after that, I am going to use this 10 10 radius command that will touches this circle and this one without having a radius. So just go for 10 10 radius command. So it is asking you for to specify the tangent point like this and like this. Now it will ask you to specify the radius of the circle. This is the most crucial step. This is the most important point that by default the radius is defined over here is 8. That was from the past memory that has been that the radius appearing on the screen is what we have feed in our last for this last circle, right? But this time you need to write radius in a very 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 huge value. This is 8, and if you notice that the larger circle uh, used in this model was of diameter 50, mean radius 25. So, by keeping the largest circle, the radius of the largest circle of your model, you go in that way that the largest circle is 50 in this case, in this particular case. So, we can type in the largest possible radius for the circle as much as we can. So, I'm just typing in the radius here 50,000. You can also write in 5,000, but both will be correct. So just type in the radius as 50,000 or 10,000 or 8,000, whatever you want. So once you enter, you'll see you get almost a straight line. As I've discussed this thing in the past, I guess that once you enter, you have an infinite radius of any circle. The smallest part of the circle is appeared as a straight line. If I zoom out for you, just to show you what I'm trying to say is here, just zoom out until the whole circle appears on your screen. You see how diminished your model part has become, and now here is your circle. The part of our model has almost vanished and disappeared from the screen. So the circle is here. I wanted to show you the circle is here, but due to the large radius, this happens. So 10 10 radius command is very helpful in this way. So let's just find out where our model has gone. Yeah, here it is. It is like a small planet rotating about the sun. Anyways, so as soon as you're done with your circle, you just need to trim off the extra lines like this. Repeat the same over here. Take the circle and give the same radius and enter, and you have another straight line. Now delete. Next step is to use the mirror command, which is another very helpful command that if you see that up till then we have model almost three circles, excluding this one, one, two, and three circles, and two straight lines, right? So after this, you don't need to uh, draw the same things on another side. If you have a symmetry kind of model, you can use mirror command. If you have a symmetry kind of a model, right? So here is your mirror command in modify panel. It says creates a mirrored copy of the selected object on either side, right? So it asks you, once you take the command, it asks you to select the objects. So now you see how beautiful this command is. It will ask you for the objects you want to mirror. So it will not mirror the whole model. The possible things you want to mirror is your option. So you can choose only the things you want to copy on other side. We don't need to mirror this circle because it is already there. So just after selection, just select enter. And now it will ask you to specify the first point of the mirror line. Okay, this is one important thing that I'm going to tell you both ways out, that it will ask you to specify the first point of the mirror line. Mirror line. In rotate command, it asks you to specify the base point. Once it is the base point, you can use the reference point or the center point about which you want to rotate your object. So that's one single point. But here it demands you to specify the first point of the mirror line. It means there should be a line. So as the beginners, it is more, I prefer it is more um safe, on the safe side, if you draw a straight line rather than randomly go for the mirror points, right? I'll let you know both of them. First, if you notice that this is a reference point 0, comma 0. So if you just travel vertically upward, this is going to be the radius of the circle, which is 25. So you can also take the mirror line in your assumption. You can assume that mirror line at the point, like this is 50, the radius would be 25. So you can just randomly take 30, comma, sorry, 0, comma 30, because we are not moving in x-axis. So 0, comma 30 would be great. Next is on this point, it will ask, the command will ask you to give the other point of the mirror line. You see, it is very much like it assumes, the mirror command assumes the things, um like you have a center point of your page once you open the book. So you have two pages, right? You divide the whole model in two pages. So this is the center point of the center section of the book, right? So you can take the another point on 0, comma minus 30. But if you get you know you will get confused by this thing, you can also draw a straight line before going for it, right? So just do one both things. 0, 30. Another point is, you see there is a line appearing on your screen, the mirrored part. But you need to provide, they specify the second point of the mirror line. So just give the second point, 0. Hold on. like this. Enter first point 0, tab 30. And okay, it will ask you to give the second point along with the angle. So if you rotate and bring it to here, you will see what is the second point of the mirror line. Okay, it is not asking you for another coordinate point. So you can just cover the distance. Like the diameter was 50 and you have added additional 5 to this. So just add additional 5 here as well. You can take the distance 60. So 60 tab angle needs supposed to be 270. Enter. And you see your okay, one last thing, erase source object. No, we don't need to erase. You have to keep the source object as well. So here is your mirror image. I'm going to repeat this thing for through another way, like specify the first point of the line command, 0, tab 30, enter, and the line should be of any distance, like this is enough, and the angle is supposed to be 90 exactly. That's it. Now use the mirror command, select the objects, enter. First point of the mirror line, this endpoint. Second point of the mirror line, this endpoint, and enter. And just keep the source object. So erase no. So you see, both are correct. If you assume the um, first point and measure out the length of the mirror line and then give the command, that is also fair enough. But if you want to be on the safe side, you can draw a straight line in prior that will pass through the reference point 00, and then you can easily apply the mirror command. So what is basically think is that you don't need to draw the other part of the model if the model is exactly symmetrical like this. Next step and the last step is to connect or join these circles. Again, we can use 10 radius command and give a huge radius. That's it. Just remain the radius as it is. And you see you have a straight line. Just trim off the extra part of the circle and you can delete the remaining part of the circle in one go. So delete. Same command. Now, there you go with same radius and a straight line is here. And now you can first trim off this part and then you can delete the whole circle. Now it's time to trim off these part of the circle. There you go. Trim off this part, this, and this. And you are done. Okay, let's finish it. Now it's time to mention the dimensions, right? First of all, we need to check whether these circles are correct or not. The distance is 24 or not. So use this align command. It will take you to the center point. So it is more convenient to take a reference line first. And in the end, you can delete that line. The line will pass through. You see, this is total distance is 100. So you can take this is minus 50 on this side, 50 on this side. So you can take 100 on both sides for the line. So minus 100 on x-axis, negative, tab 0. We don't need to go on vertical axis. And the line would be of any length, but on angle 0. So just clarify the angle and escape. You have to delete this line in the end. So just change the color so you remember this thing. Now for the distance, for the dimension. Now take the linear one. Now trace the intersection point, and we have a very diminished dimension. So we need to modify the dimension style. Text 5. You can also change the text color if you want. Arrow size also 5. And the lines and arrow color can also be this one. Okay, close. So you see this is 24 exactly. This is I wanted to show you because students were more get confused by this thing that it appears like it is equidistance from reference point till the circumference. So in order to remove this confusion, you just go for the dimensions and then you have your clear version. I'm just going to reduce the dimension style a little bit so my dimensions will adjust easily. So make it 4 and text also 4. Enter. Okay. Okay, this is fine. Next is to go for other measurements like this circles in terms of diameter and the outer circle in terms of radius. So diameter for this circle, it is 10. Radius for this one, this you see this is 10. And now 50 diameter for the part of the circle, diameter 50 is here. You can also mention your measurement in this way. So you see, it is showing you that a circle is here. Next is the radius for this one and the linear measurements. So for the linear measurements, 50 from reference point to the circle and point, center point. This is 50. Why this is giving you a decimal value? Because as you see, when I was taking the dimension, it was not showing me the center point but the end point. So apparently it might be taken as the circumference of the circle. That is why a small value is appearing on the screen. So no issues. Next is to take this center point, end point, another end point. Okay, this is 100. So the things are clear to you, hopefully. And one last diameter, that is 8. So thank you. See you in the next lecture.